Alrighty, everyone. Today I have something a little bit special that I was able to finish up. My mech guns. These three guys are known as the mech guns themselves, rather than the standard big guns. In particular, these mech guns are known as custom mega cannons. The mech guns' capability are as follows. They have a 3-inch movement, they have a weapon skill of 5, a ballistic skill of 4, have 2 strength, 5 toughness, 6 wounds, 6 attacks, 4 leadership, and a 5-up armor save. A regular unit of mech guns will be 1 standard mech gun and 6 grots. One will be manning the gun, which means only one of those can actually fire the weapon, while 5 remaining grots will stand alongside. For power, you can get a standard squad for 2 power. If you want, you can also add an additional crew of. This can include up to 5 additional guns and their crew. For 2 power rating per mech gun, which means you can have a squad of 6 of these mech guns to rain down destruction, with a total of about 25 to 30 grots. The guns options go from Bubba Chukka, custom mega cannon, a smasher gun, or a tractor cannon. For mine, I personally enjoy the custom mega cannon because it has a 36-inch range, a heavy D6 with a strength 8 gun with -3 to the armor, and a D6 damage. Downside of this weapon, though, is if you roll unmodified rolls of 1, that the bearer suffers a 1 mortal wound after all this weapon's attacks have been resolved. So, plus and minus. The Bubba Chukka will have 48-inch range, heavy D6, strength D6, AP D6, and damage D6, which means at random, each hit could do a wide assortment of wounds, at a wide assortment of damage. Ideal if you want to fight against those that are blobs at great distances. The smasher gun has also 40-inch range, or 48 inches, has heavy D3 shots, has a star for a strength, a -4 to the armor, and D6 damage. Its ability is, instead of making the wound roll for that weapon, you can roll 2d6, and if the result is equal to or greater than the target's toughness, the attack successfully wins. Which means it's definitely ideal if you were trying to take out characters or particular monsters that are around ideally 6 to 7. The tractor cannon has a 40. The final option is the tractor cannon, which will be 48 inches with heavy 1 shot. Has 8 strength, -2 AP, and D6 damage. The weapon itself auto hits. If the enemy is a vehicle, any vehicle unit that can fly, you'll roll 2 dice when inflicting damage and discard the lowest result. If the unit that it can fly is destroyed, it automatically does a crash and burn, or equivalent, which is quite useful when you want to go against the anti-air. The ability of the mech gun has Daka Daka Daka, which is standard for all orcs. Which means if I roll a 6 on the hit, you can generate additional attacks. This works well except for the tractor cannon, which does auto hits. It also possesses the mech guns. The first time this unit is set up on the battlefield, all of its mech guns must be placed within 6 inches of at least one other mech gun, with each grot crew within 1 inch of their mech gun. From that point onwards, each mech gun operates independently and is treated as a separate unit for all rules purposes. It also has the ability called the grot crew. Each mech gun and its Grok crew are treated as a single model for all rules purposes. The crew must remain within 1 inch of their mech gun and cannot be attacked or targeted separately. The range and visibility of all attacks made by the mech gun are measured from the gun, not the crew. The keywords for this are orc of any clan for the faction, and then standard keywords are vehicle, artillery, Gretchen, and mech guns. Now, the ideal for anyone that uses mech guns will either go for the custom mecha cannon or the smasher gun, ideally, depending on what they're trying to aim for. But a standard would be the custom mega cannon, even with its minor one-up trade-off. The ideal situation for this would be to run it in squads of 3, such as 3 guns with 15 grots attached to it. That way, when you target down something, you have a high chance of going through it. Basically, any type of anti-vehicle weapon. If you know you're gonna be fighting a lot of infantry, you can also do a separate squad of Babachukas, which will be useful, but you'll be rolling a lot of d6s. So there's a high chance, 1 in 6 chance of you either rolling really, really good for the weapon or really, really bad. However, there's a couple ideas to use the tractor cannons themselves. Ideally, because of the auto hits, it may be one shot, but it's quite useful for anything that has the keyword fly, such as most of Tao's vehicles. Due to most of the fact that most of their vehicles and weapon suits have the keyword fly ability, as well as the vehicle capability, as well as certain Eldar weaponry. So depending on how many of you guys want to do this, tractor cannons be perfect for those 2 particular armies. Or if you're fighting chaos, I know there's a couple of people that love using the giant demon birds. But other than that, that is at least for me, that is my particular idea, is to stick with the custom mecha cannons themselves, and especially try to run them as squads of 3. Alright, as for the current paint scheme, my particular army are blood axes, so they prefer to use the enemy's coloring to disguise themselves. The main enemy they will fight against are the Ultramarines, so they believed to use the Umi's armor against them by painting at least a majority of their vehicles in a bluish tinge. Whether or not it actually works is irrelevant to the orcs. And to them, personally, they believe because it's blue, it must be lucky. Albeit they don't know the difference between a standard Space Marine, Ultramarine blue, or a Space Wolf blue, or gray, as most have said. But at least for that bit, it'll work for them either way. But I will go ahead and thank you for enjoying this video. If you do want to see more, please feel free to let me know. I have a bunch of models set aside that I'm trying to do updated videos on, as well as minor showcases. But I thank you for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.